Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and it's felt like a million years since I've done a ration review. It's been since Remembrance Day, November the 11th, so we're pretty much like 5 months or something like that since my last review. It's felt like a tremendously long time. It's nice to finally get a little bit of time again to go through some rations. So what we got here in front of us is something that I haven't done in quite some time, like several years basically, is a Humanitarian Daily Ration. And for the longest time, most of us in the ration world thought that we'd, never see what we would call a fresh Humanitarian Daily Ration. The freshest ones that anyone would have been from 2010. And, after 5 or 6 years or 7 or 8 years or longer, they certainly don't stand up to the test of time. But it seems the United States, I guess the companies that pack the rations have decided to do another run of these. So what we have is, and I assume this is Ameriqual, just from the way the packaging is, but we'll tell from the inside. But this is as fresh as you could possibly get for something along these lines. So we got a date code here of 1039. So this was packed on the 39th day of 2021. So in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty fresh ration, I guess. It's menu number 1. Of course, the reasoning behind these is to be used as humanitarian aid, as the name implies, obviously. So that could be in the sense of, natural disaster relief. But it could also be for refugees, displaced persons during time of war, things like that. I know that these were dropped extensively over Afghanistan, places like that. Originally, these would have been in yellow. But during Afghanistan, they realized that some of the unexploded ordnance left over by the Soviets, especially cluster bombs, were also yellow and were a similar color, and then the people of Afghanistan were wary of picking up these food packets when they were yellow in color, because they were worried if they were either booby traps or unexploded ordnance that would then all of a sudden explode. So eventually they switched over to this sort of salmon-hued kind of color. But these are usually interesting. They're obviously meant for anyone around the world, so they're meant to be vegetarian and try to at least fit in with any sort of most dietary restrictions of most groups around the world that they would possibly have to be dropping this food to. So, maybe if you're a Jain or something like that, you probably might not be able to eat these because of their very stringent dietary restrictions. But for the most part, these should be good for people who are, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, anyone like that. But not much more to say about it, guys. It looks very similar, obviously, to an MRE, just a slightly different packaging. And, it's embossed right there with, the United States flag, and then, a food gift from the people of the United States of America, just to make sure that people know that, we dropped this food to you, and we're, hoping to help you people survive. It's just got a peelable seal. Let's have a look at how things are different on the inside. I've done a review of one of these, like I said, several years ago. So you want to pop back and find that one, and we can see what some of the differences are in some of the components. So yeah, we've got ourselves secondary inner packaging, which confirms that this is packed by Ameriqual, not Warnick or Sapaco. And these are our two mains that we're going to get in here, bean salad and beans with potatoes. But yeah, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to open this up, and then we'll just show every individual item, and then we'll try it all out. So we got our two mains. We got bean salad and beans with potatoes. We've got, I wasn't quite sure what the packaging would look like, but we do have the similar, I guess what we would call regular HDR style packaging, this sort of silver packaging. Normally we would see everything in sort of a greenish or tannish kind of color if it was, US MREs, but we've got this silver sort of packaging. And this is a banana apple smoothie. This is a newer item that wouldn't have been in the older ones. We've got oatmeal cookies and a pack of your standard US ration crackers, and they look like they've still got a really good seal. Obviously, the last time I would have reviewed an HDR, the items would have been, at least probably 7, 8 years old. So being able to try something that's only a year or so old, I'm hopefully going to find that there's some I guess, quality differences on how good some of the items are. We just got like a little information card on nutrition facts and all that kind of stuff for the two mains. We've got our standard US MRE spoon, and then a laughably simple accessory pack, which is literally just one wet wipe and a tiny pack of salt and pepper. You don't even get crushed red pepper this time around. You got 2 strawberry jams in the silver packaging. And a bit different from what we normally would see. Normally we'd get peanut butter or something like that, but this time around we've got sunflower butter. I don't know the exact reasoning behind the switch to this. Maybe worries about, I guess, nut allergies, something along those lines. Not wanting to kill people who, you know, even though they're a displaced person or someone who's a refugee or someone who's needing humanitarian aid because of a natural disaster, and you drop food on them that they'd end up being allergic to and then go into anaphylactic shock and die. I guess you don't want those sort of things, so maybe that's the reason why they made the switch to sunflower butter, just to sort of cut that possibility out, but not 100% sure about that. So there you go, everyone. That's everything laid out. I'll just move the camera slightly just to center this a bit better. But this is everything. This is meant to be a whole day's food for someone who is a displaced person. You know, you've got 450 calories and then 500 calories at the two mains, so that's 950. 370 calories in just the smoothie, 240 in the cookies, 170 in the crackers, and, you know, 370 calories in the sunflower butter, and then 140 combined for the strawberry jam. So yeah, you're going to get a fair amount of calories, over 2,000. But or around that amount. I didn't really put it together. Yeah, it's going to be over 2,000. This is meant to be literally just one day's allotment of food, enough to help you to survive, basically. This doesn't come with an FRH, a flameless ration heater. So what I'm going to do for this particular meal is I'm going to try to be as close to eating it the way that someone who is given one of these is going to eat it. So I'm going to eat the mains cold, or I guess room temperature or whatever the ambient temperature happens to be. So just to try to get a better sense of like how this will actually taste when it's not thrown into an FRH and truly heated up, when, you know, you're just going to, you know, tear it open and eat it as is. So yeah, we're going to get the tray out, and we're going to get to try all of this. All right, everyone. So this is as laid out as it's going to be, I guess. I'm not going to pour both of the mains out. We're just going to eat them straight from the pouch. And then we'll try the crackers and whatnot with the strawberry jam and sunflower butter and whatnot. And then we've got our gelatinous, very thick apple banana smoothie kind of thing. But yeah, we'll dive into our mains first. So this one is your beans and potatoes. Has a very USMRE sort of tomato sauce kind of look to it. And it's kidney beans and a little bit of onion, a little bit of pepper, and then some chunks of potato. But I don't really, in all honesty, I don't really see the potato in the sense of, okay, it's more like sort of hash brown style potato, not huge chunks. And like I said, I'm going to be trying these room temperature. It's very gelatinous. There's a lot of oil and everything in here. It's meant to be high calorie, and also still give you high fat content and a lot of fiber as well. But yeah, let's give our beans and potatoes a try first, and then we'll move on to the bean salad. You know, surprisingly, it's not that bad having, well, I guess reading a fairly fresh HDR. So it's a lot different from any other one I've ever had before this point that was packed in 2010. Yeah, just tastes like you got a can of beans and tomato sauce, and you're just eating it from the can. Actually, it probably tastes a little better than that. So I find there's a little bit of red pepper powder here, I think, some sort of spice. It's just a little tiny hint of kick. And it's actually surprisingly very flavorful. Sometimes the HDRs back in the day would get a bad name for being horribly bland. But this isn't bland at all. I'm quite surprised that, just some random kidney beans and some potato chunks in a tomato-y kind of sauce is actually as flavorful as this is. This is surprisingly good. Yeah, I've got no problem eating that at all. That's that's a nice surprise, I guess is the best way to put it. Then we got our bean salad. It's interesting they just choose the term bean salad as it. It looks like it's just, you know, you dumped out a can of kidney beans and you didn't wash them off or rinse them off. But there are supposed to be pinto beans and navy beans in here as well. And it's also supposed to have, you know, some red pepper powder in there. It's got an even more gelatinous kind of look to it. Once again, that's the type of sort of oily kind of sauce they've put in there. But yeah, let's give this one a try. I don't know if this one's going to be as good as the first one or if that's just a preconceived notion I have based on how it looks. But we'll give the bean salad a try and see which one comes out on top. While it's good, it's not as good as the beans and potatoes. It's a little bit more vinegary, the sauce that's in that. So it's got a little bit more tang, I guess, is the way to put it. But I think overall it's just not as flavorful as the beans and potatoes. The beans and potatoes are actually surprisingly good. This is more, I think refreshing is more of an odd, I know it's an odd word to say that a retort pouch meal can seem refreshing. But yeah, like it's refreshing on the palate, I guess. Maybe like a little bit of salt and pepper might sort of bring it out even more. I'm not 100% sure. But these are much better than some of the previous HDR mains I've ever had. So that's a nice sort of change, I guess. So I guess all we got left to try now. Oh, trying to get the color to go a little bit better. I think we're getting a bit of a glare off the crackers. So let's try this apple banana smoothie. It's incredibly thick. Let's give this a go and see what this is like. Kind of tastes like you're eating apple banana baby food. It's got like, I don't know, almost tastes like there might be some cinnamon in there. Like a slight sort of apple pie filling flavor, not just straight apple like you would maybe get from like an applesauce. And it's very grainy. It's got, I wouldn't say a sandy texture, but it's sort of nearing that kind of texture. It's not great, but obviously this one pouch of smoothie is giving you 370 calories, and you're just looking to eat to survive. So, you know, this is giving you what you need. It's got a lot of maltodextrin in it, so you're getting sort of a, you know, fast energy, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, it does the job. All right. I mean, all we got left, I guess, are the spreads and the dry ingredients. Let's give one of our crackers just a piece of a try on its own before we put anything on it, just to see how fresh these are. And yeah, those are fine. It's just your standard bland, dry cracker. I really wish these had like a higher salt content, but we're not gonna see salted crackers brought back, I'm sure. Let's try a little bit of sunflower butter on this. Oh, that's incredibly oily. I thought I needed this a bit better, but apparently I did not. Yeah, it's not the most appetizing looking thing in the world, but we'll do this the right way and put a little bit of strawberry jam on it as well. Trying to see how much of a mess I can make trying to do this. But yeah, let's give our sunflower butter, strawberry jam, and cracker a try. And that's actually delicious. Anyone who likes roasted, salted sunflower seeds, you know, you're basically just eating that in a crushed up liquefied form. And that's actually surprisingly very, very good. It's a nice inclusion in the HDR. I don't know if someday, or if they already are, putting sunflower butter in the MREs as well. But that's nice. It's a slightly different taste, but you're still getting the sort of semblance, obviously, of peanut butter. But yeah, that's great. So all we got left now is our singular, pretty large, dense, hard oatmeal cookie. So yeah, a little cross section of that there. The ingredients just say spice, so I don't know exactly what you're going to find in here, but you are getting like those hints of like cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, that sort of thing out of it. But let's try it on its own first, and maybe we might put some sunflower butter and some jam on it. But we'll try it plain first. It's weird. It's chewy and crisp all at once, and wet and dry all at once. I don't know how they sort of got it to go that way, but it's a little bit of an odd taste, sensation, I guess is the best way to put it. The mouthfeel of the cookie is not particularly great, but let's try it with some of the spread on there. See if this does anything for it. Yeah, that makes it a lot better. It actually kind of overpowers the oatmeal cookie almost completely. But I find I care less about how weird it feels when you're trying to eat it. When you have at least the spreads on there. Kind of masks some of that a little bit. But all in all, it's not bad. I think I would still prefer the shortbread cookies that they used to have in them. I don't know if they're in a different menu, but this is menu number 1. So maybe in a different menu for Ameriqual for this production run. Maybe there are shortbread cookies, but I know I just ended up with this oatmeal cookie. That's probably the only knock I would give this ration is that. Yes, you're getting lots of calories, but it could be better. That's the best way to put it. But all in all, everyone, this has been a brand new, or new-ish, I guess, 2021 Humanitarian Daily Ration from Ameriqual, menu number 1. And surprisingly not bad. I'd be interested to get my hands on more of these. This particular one came from Dub C, so I just want to thank him for sending this along, giving me a chance to try out a new fresh HDR. But I'd certainly like to get my hands on some more of these, or maybe from a different company to see, like, maybe if Sipaco or Warnick does things a little bit differently, if some of the items are different, some of the sides are different, whatever. But obviously the different menus are going to have different mains. But I don't know how much variation you're going to see in all the rest of the items. But yeah, don't really have much of anything else to say about these guys. I just, we just hope and pray that we're never in a situation that we have to be the kind of people who survive on these. And it's sad, obviously, that sometimes we have to supply them to people around the world. But it is what it is, and that's the need that they had, that they exist for, I guess. I don't know if these are being shipped right now or dropped into places like the Ukraine. I haven't heard any reports of it, confirmed yet. But perhaps somewhere down the line, we'll hear that these are being, dropped in the Ukraine. But that's it. So everyone, it was nice to get back and get another review done. Like I said, it's been 5 months or so since my last one. Work and everything's been incredibly busy. And just trying to find the extra time to get this done when you work and family and all that kind of stuff can be a little difficult sometimes, but it's nice to get a chance to finally get another review done and share it with you all. So yeah, this has been a Menu 1 2021 Humanitarian Daily Ration, and it's actually surprisingly good. I'm happy that when they're fresh, they're actually fairly tasty. So, I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by, and have a good one, everybody.